welcome to yet another catch up with a local figure in the area, and I'm joined by PCSO Andi Hillman, and today we are going to be talking about basic safety in the dark around winter time and the early part of next year. Hello Andy, how are you?
Good afternoon, Sarah. I'm absolutely fine, thank you very much.
Well rested?
I wouldn't say that, I've got two children, so I'm never really well rested. But
sorted for Christmas?
I'd like to say yes, but clearly it's no.
Has the wife done all the Christmas shopping and ready? No! I'm one ahead of you then, because I'm done.
You're done?
Wrapped up and in
I think you do mine then.
All done, I'm done.
Actually, it's wife's birthday on Sunday as well. I haven't bought any presents yet, so I'm in trouble.
I'm not going to edit that out, you know that, don't you? Vic will say that.
Yeah, thanks for that.
It's always fun here at GlassBox Studios. Anyway, we're here to talk about something quite serious, other than obviously the impending Christmas, and that is safety on the roads and also bicycles.
Bicycles.
Because that's something that doesn't get brought up very often.
It does to us.
It does for you,
it does
but
to
the general
us.
public don't seem to be aware of what is allowed to be done when you're on a bike, because you're not allowed to cycle on the pavement.
No.
But people still do.
It's an offence
It is
under the Road Traffic Act to cycle on the pavement. And I mean, to be fair, that's one of the biggest complaints or gripes we have from members of the public are people, not just what you think, as in kids.
No.
It's of all ages, trust me, it is of all ages, cycling on the pavement. And they, you know, we have cycle paths, but they are clearly marked. When they're a pavement, it's for pedestrians, that's it.
I'm going to throw something in the air here. There is a particular road in Felixstowe where cars park in the cycle route, so you are forced inevitably to go on the pavement. Unfortunately, I was told that you can't apparently make it legal to park in a cycle path.
If it's a cycle path with broken white lines, it's legal to park there.
Right.
If it's a cycle path with a solid white line, it's illegal to park there.
So then, arguably on the high road, I personally have cycled up and down there, and I do go on the pavement. I'm going to freely admit it. I do not wish to get hit by a car or a bus, because unfortunately all the cars are parked in the cycle route, and you can't go in the middle of a road. So what do you do in that instance? Do you look at the cars?
Get off and walk.
I know we should walk.
Is what you do. If you're not comfortable using the cycle path and going around the cars, which is fine because not everyone's comfortable with that, then you get off
and
walk. Don't cycle on the pavement.
No.
Don't cycle on the pavement.
Haven't been on my bike in the last month or so.
Oh, okay. But when you do get
around to why I haven't been on my bike.
Don't cycle on the pavement. Just get off and walk, past the cars, get back on, off you go.
If you see, obviously pulling somebody over, does that have to be a call-in? Can someone call in and say, I've seen someone cycling? Because obviously it must be very difficult to catch somebody. Because they're obviously
we need to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I appreciate that it is a gripe by members of the public, and rightly so, because they are breaking the law.
Yeah.
It's a matter of us actually being there at the time and seeing them do it. Yeah. If we see them do it, then we can issue with a ticket, words of advice, whatever we feel is appropriate. So, but if you said to me, I saw someone bike on the path the other day, there's
nothing you can do.
Not particularly. No, I could look out for that individual if I knew them or that area.
Yeah.
But, in retrospect,
so if somebody's a repeated offender, so to speak, they're coming past your house every day on the pavement, call up.
Yes.
No doubt they'll be there the next morning at the same time.
Quite agree.
What kind of penalties do you face if you're caught?
It's a £30 fixed penalty ticket.
Right.
I mean, if you keep doing it, then in the end we'll send you to court. And if you don't pay your fixed penalty ticket, you'll get sent to court in it anyway. Right. You have 28 days to pay that fine, and if you don't pay it, you'll get summoned to court. So, is
this something that you do find yourself doing a lot of? Do you give out a lot of fines?
Not particularly.
Because again, it must be very difficult to catch.
It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, one of the other offences, now we're talking cycles, is lights on bikes.
Yes,
and it is an offence not to have lights on bikes.
My bike hasn't been out because I know that the two lights on my bike have no batteries in them at the moment.
You need to get yourself some
batteries.
batteries.
I will be getting my batteries.
You need to get some batteries, mate.
Because again, is that what penalty do you?
That's £25 ticket.
£25 ticket.
But I mean, to be fair, lights are so cheap nowadays. They really are. There's no excuse at all.
No. The other thing is high visibility jacket. I actually wear a high vis jacket when I'm on my bike because I don't like to. Well, when you're cycling around at night, I know for a fact that the roads that I cycle on, there's a lot of cars that do come past very close and very fast.
Not particularly many street lights either, is there?
No, there isn't. So I just take that added precaution of wearing a high vis jacket. But there's no harm in doing that. Nobody's going to make fun of you.
No, not at all.
To see somebody.
Not at all.
Because there is a lot more traffic on the roads at the end of the day. flat tyres on bikes and bald tyres.
Flat tyres and bald tyres.
I will admit to another crime.
Have you got bald tyres on your bike?
I was told that on my previous bike, before I got my new one by an officer that I know, your tyres are dangerously worn, Sarah. And I looked at him and I went, what? And I didn't even realise that a bike tyre carries the similar offence to a bald tyre on a car.
Yeah, it does.
So that's me just being ignorant.
It's still something that you use on the road, isn't it? And if your tyres are bald, you run the same risk as whether your car tyres are bald.
Again, what kind of penalty are you facing if someone comes up?
I'm unsure of the penalty. I know that obviously you can incur a hefty fine for bald tyres. I mean, generally speaking, you'd get a vehicle defect form with the car, and you'd be given a certain amount of time to rectify that defect. I would say it's exactly the same with the bike. You'd get a vehicle defect form and then you'd have a certain amount of time to rectify that. If you don't, then obviously you receive a fine.
The other thing that obviously goes on pavements and on roads that isn't a car is mobility scooters. Now, a lot of the elderly are now getting theirs out to use because the weather is closing in. Some of them feel like it's better. There are penalties for those as well, aren't there? If you see some,
there's different kind of categories of mobility scooters. Some are roadworthy and they should have road tax. Some are not. There's different speeds of mobility scooters as well. If they're on pavement, it has to be 4 miles an hour. No faster. I mean, the ones that are generally for pavement and not road normally have a top speed of 8 miles an hour. But they're only allowed to do 4 miles an hour. They do have settings, they're able to set their vehicles accordingly, and they shouldn't be doing more than 4.
How can you tell the difference between one that should be on the road?
Trust me, you can tell the difference between one that's on the road. I mean, ones that need to go on the road have lights, they have a tax disc displayed. It's got to be roadworthy, they'll have mirrors as well. Whereas ones for on the pavement won't have those things.
So if you see one that's only supposed to be on the pavement on the road, is there anything you can do about that? Is it something that there is an offence that's carried? Because technically they're driving without a tax disc.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
We could. The issue would be, again, we need to see them do it. And then there's going to be lots of wonderful excuses for being on said road, because they can say they're crossing the road. Again, it's something that we'd probably sort out at the time if we saw them do it.
Because again, locking them up, locking your bike up, that's something that a lot of people don't do. I've seen people just leave their bike.
This time of year is massive for bike thefts.
Well, because it's a present, isn't it? It's a present on wheels. And
a lot of the time people come out of either the pub or having a meal, they've had a lot to drink and they think, I've got to walk 7 miles. They think, well, actually there's a bike there, I'll just quickly nip down and they'll dump it around the corner. And that's not every bike theft, obviously.
Influence is also illegal, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Cycling whilst on, so that doesn't even get you away with.
No, you can't. You can't go overnight out and bike home because you're going to
cause danger. Or in a mobility scooter.
No, definitely not.
Anything different on the road.
No drinking.
No drinking.
We've been through that, no drinking.
Is there ways of marking bikes? Because years ago, I now actually scratch a code underneath my bike. My bike is barcoded, for want of a better description, so I can actually give a number to an officer if my bike was stolen. Is it advisable that people mark their bikes?
Yeah, definitely. So, you can just bring it to the police station, we'll do it for you. We'll code your cycle for you. Using the ultraviolet pen, we'll just code your cycle, put a bit of plastic over it, put a sticker on that says coded cycle. And again, I would recommend, if you're buying a Christmas present for your son, your daughter, whoever, before you give it to them, bring it up to the station, we'll do it while it's brand new.
It's a small insurance, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
against the theft.
Definitely.
Because quite often, if you found it in a bush, because somebody has taken it while they're drunk or for whatever reason, whatever, you can then trace it back.
Yeah, that's right.
A friend of mine had her handbag brought back because that was, for some bizarre reason, there was an ultraviolet number in her handbag.
Well, there you go. It shows that it works.
One, that's why it was coded, and they found it and they brought it back to her. So
that shows that it works, doesn't it?
It's sorted.
I mean, there's a lot of property we have at Canterbury that, again, if it was marked up by the person who owns it, we could get it back to them. But obviously, we've got lots of property we can't because we don't know who owns it.
Don't know who owns it.
So
that's the other thing. That if you find something untoward, take it straight down to the station, can't you? Because it will get found. It will get found if needs be.
Yes.
So cars, we've done cycles, mobility vehicles, cars, lights, de-icing, snow. We've had snow.
We have.
Now, I was told that it's actually illegal, I don't know whether or not this was the person telling me this for a joke or whatever, to leave snow on the top of your car.
It is.
that is actually illegal to leave the snow on.
Yes.
Because you have big lumps of it and it slides down and it goes into
It could cause a hazard for other road users, can't it? I mean, you look at lorries, and again, I'm not sorry lorry drivers, I'm not generalising.
We know a few.
But my father-in-law's one. But, you know, if they've got a lot of snow, and again, I appreciate that the lorry driver can't always get on top of the container because it's obviously health and safety, it's a risk. But if they go around a corner and a great big lump of snow comes off and lands on the car, or a person, you know, it's fraught with danger, isn't it?
So don't just scrape your windows.
No, do the while you're there. I mean, you should always keep really a broom and a spade in your boot for this weather.
Well, I've got a little disposable, collapsible little spade thing in my boot, blankets.
Yeah, ideal.
I know I don't live far from anywhere really. I mean, people have that opinion of, I don't live far down the road from so and so. But if you're stuck by the side of the road in this weather, it's freezing cold.
It is freezing cold.
Lights, checking your lights. Daily, do you recommend doing them daily in this
and
weather?
tyres.
And tyres.
Lights and tyres. I mean, tyres are probably the most important thing to be checking, especially at this time of year, because of the road conditions. You know, if you've got any sort of ball patches on your tyres, then it's going to affect how your car drives.
Get them sorted,
Definitely, get them sorted straight away.
What kind of penalties again if you pull anyone over?
It's the same.
With snow on the roof, is there any penalties for that? Because it's isn't
off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. No, on the top of my head, I don't know the penalty for snow on the roof. It is definitely a real issue. I mean, I've had it happen to me a couple of times.
I have.
When you just get a great big lump of snow drop on your car, it goes down your windscreen, and before you can wipe it off, you have to brake.
It's similar to sneezing behind the wheel. You don't know what.
Yeah, that's right.
For 2 seconds, you are totally out of control of that.
The other thing I would mention is clearing your windscreen on the inside of condensation. The amount of people you see with a little letterbox, like here, and they're looking through it to try and get round the corner and the whole car is kind of misted up.
I know somebody who's guilty of that.
Just clear your screen. It takes 5 minutes. Clear your screen.
Leave your engine running for 5 minutes.
Yeah, or if they have a chamois in the car or a sponge, you just do that. I know obviously when the sun shines it leaves streaks, but you can always clean the windscreen afterwards.
So driving around this time of year, be sensible. Check your tyres, check your lights. On vehicles.
Antifreeze.
Antifreeze.
In your car.
The other thing as well, antifreeze for your bike. Because if it's been snowing, I've been caught out by this. If it's been snowing, your brakes freeze up.
They do freeze up. You're right.
I've got, you see, that's the Girl Scout. That's the Girl Scout in me as well. I have been caught out by that. But no, that is. It sounds funny, but that has happened to me. So I now have a tiny little can of antifreeze. You can get them from.
So what happened? You couldn't stop?
Stores. Well, no, you couldn't even move. I couldn't move my tyre because the bike had frozen. So I had to defrost my bike effectively before I could cycle home. So I have been caught out by that. But defrost everything, clean your windows, clean your roof of your car, make sure your lights are done, and be visible as well. Make sure you're visible. Have I missed anything?
No, I think we've covered pretty much everything.
Don't cycle on the pavements.
Don't cycle on the pavements and use lights. Not cycle on the pavement.
I have got lights. I have got batteries that are going in them.
I'm ringing again.
Funnily enough, I bought them. Right, Andy's ringing, which means that we've got somewhere else to be, which has been great. Thank you very much for coming in.
It's been a pleasure.
You've been a busy boy today, but thanks for finding some time for me.
It's no problem, mate.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.